How can alt concert photographers avoid motion blur? Imagine capturing the raw energy of a live show where every movement and note feels alive. In the world of alternative music scenes like emo, screamo, and alternative rock, the visuals are just as vital as the sound. But how do photographers freeze those fast-moving performers without ending up with blurry images? Let's break down some simple yet effective ways to keep your shots sharp and vibrant. First, using a fast shutter speed is key. Setting your camera to at least 1/100th of a second helps stop motion. For really energetic moments, bump it up to 1/500th or even 1,000th of a second. The longer the lens, the faster your shutter needs to be to avoid shake. For example, if you're using a 50mm lens, 1/500th of a second is usually enough. But if you're shooting with a 200mm lens, you might need 1,000th to keep things crisp. Next, open your lens wide. If your lens has a maximum aperture of 1.4 or 1.8, use it. A wide aperture lets in more light, so you can shoot with faster shutter speeds even in dim venues. This is super important because many alternative concert spaces are low-lit, creating a moody aesthetic that's part of the scene's vibe. Increasing your camera's ISO setting is another trick. Modern cameras handle higher ISO levels well, so don't be afraid to push it to 800, 1600, or even more. This boosts the sensor's sensitivity to light, allowing you to keep your shutter speed high without underexposing your shot. Just remember, higher ISO can introduce some noise, but in concert photography, a little grain can add to the gritty, raw look of the scene. Using flash sparingly can also help. A quick burst of flash can freeze motion, but it can also flatten the scene and ruin the atmosphere. Instead, try bouncing the flash off the ceiling or using diffusers to soften the light. Some photographers use slow sync flash, which combines a longer exposure with a flash burst, capturing the ambient stage lighting while freezing the performer's movement. Stabilizing your camera is simple but effective. Hold it firmly against your body, brace your elbows, or lean against a stable surface. If your camera has in-body or lens stabilization, turn it on. Shooting from less crowded areas can also help avoid jostling, keeping your shot steady. Switching your camera to manual mode gives you full control over shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. This prevents the camera from automatically adjusting settings that could slow down your shutter speed and cause blur. It's a great way to adapt quickly to changing lighting conditions on stage. Anticipating movement is a skill. Watch the band's performance style and try to predict when they'll pause or slow down. Using continuous shooting mode allows you to take multiple shots in quick succession, increasing your chances of catching that perfect, sharp moment. Sometimes, a little motion blur can add to the scene's energy. Panning your camera while using a slower shutter speed, like 1/30th or 60th of a second, can create a sense of movement and chaos that matches the music's spirit. This technique works especially well in the alt scene, where raw emotion and movement are part of the aesthetic. In the end, capturing clear images in low light and fast action is about balancing technical settings with your artistic vision. Sharp photos of performers freezing mid-air or mid-strum can be powerful, but a touch of intentional blur can also tell a story of the scene's wild energy. Experiment with these tips, and you'll find the perfect mix to make your alt concert photos stand out.